Hey guys, welcome back to DCS World. I'm Spudknocker, as always, and today we've got a fun mission for us as part of SEDLO's new Eastern Friendship campaign for the F-18C Hornet. Now, technically we're not in an F-18C right now, we're in a CF-18, at least the skin is a CF-18 skin, and we're in the ejection seat of a French-Canadian Royal Canadian Air Force pilot. This is the fourth mission out of the campaign, and the coolest mission, in my opinion. I think it's very cool. It's a rather covert strike on a Russian airfield and ammunition depots up near the Sukhumi area. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Turn our flashlight on, that's always handy. Whoop. Throw our battery on. We'll go ahead and do a fire test.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Alrighty. So that's good to go. So we'll go ahead and start our APU. Green light, we'll go ahead and crank our right engine. You can see it's a very cold day today, as we're getting negatives for our starting temperature in our engines. We'll bring our throttle up, and we'll go ahead and close the canopy, keep some of that cold out, and make it a little bit quieter. Hear the AMAD coming on. Turn on our DDIs. Whoops, I missed. Oh, I missed again. Our NPCD, our HUD. Go ahead and restack those cautions. This guy up, hook field to bypass. We'll go ahead and start our ground alignment. That's very important. We'll go ahead and bring up our FCS page. Turn our oxygen on. That is, of course, very important. It is a very cold day today, so we're going to actually turn our pitot heat on in a second here. Anything else we can do? We can go ahead and set our bingo in the meantime. Keep it at 6,000 for now. And why don't we go ahead and crank our left engine. Bring our throttle forward. Get those igniters going. Ah, there we go. It's getting a little stuffy in here. We'll go ahead, turn some lights on. I think we can turn our flashlight off at the moment. APU should be turning off momentarily. And now that we have our engine up, we'll go ahead and do an FCS bit because it is quite a cold day. So we'll go ahead and reset this first. X's are cleared. Hold down Y. And do a bit. There we go. Now she's moving. get that hydraulic fluid moving through the system, because it's probably gone a little bit viscous with how cold it is. So that's why we're doing that bit. in our engine. We'll go ahead and, is this guy still? Yep, there we go. APU is off. Turn our lights on. Light cutoff button works, that's important. Okay. Takeoff trim. Looks like our countdown is almost done. So we are going to leave our radar in off mode for now, because we're supposed to be radar silent and emission silent on our flight out to the Marshall Point. Want to try and have a maximum amount of surprise for our opponents. Alright, go ahead and flip this guy over to nav. We'll select waypoint 1. Go ahead and turn our RWR on. FCS. HUD. Flashlight off. And it looks like we've got a beautiful sunrise for our takeoff. Parking brake off, that always helps. Oxygen's on. Looks like everything is good to go. So we'll go ahead and taxi out. Flaps to half. Taxi light on, that's important. So in the briefing room, we did discuss that we do have quite a substantial amount of turbulence in the area, as well as quite a ripping crosswind for our takeoff here. So we may be a little squirrely on our takeoff, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Thankfully in the dark, our ground crew spotted our aircraft such that our taxi to the runway won't be too difficult. Go ahead and take a screenshot, why not? Adjust my own pretend ejection seat here so I can grab my controls a little better. And we'll go ahead and take the active. Lined up on the center line. We'll do a quick sweep of our cockpit. Everything looks good. Our takeoff trim is in play. Everything looks pretty darn good. So we'll go ahead and take off. We'll probably have a bit of a longer roll because we've got quite a heavy payload of 4 Markety 4s. So here we go. Oh, getting a little squirrely. Stay on the center line. Nose coming up. Perfect. Pull back just a little bit to give her a little bit of help. Flaps up. Gear up. And to stay under the Russian radar, we're going to go ahead and stay under. Whoop, that was almost really bad. We're going to go ahead and stay under 1,000 feet and make our way over to waypoint 1 out here. So we'll bring up our knee board, take a look. Oh, I've already broken 1,000 feet. Bad me. And you can tell we're keeping our radio silence. I believe that's our AWACS contrailing way out there over the Black Sea. Could be a Russian AWACS, who knows? We're operating in pretty darn close proximity. And you can tell by my ghost velocity vector, we've got quite a crosswind pushing us. I'm sure that the Russians had personnel around the airbase monitoring us, so they probably know something's going on, but they don't know what exactly is going on. Alright, we'll go ahead and push it up to waypoint 2. And we'll put our clock into local time. Our push time is going to be 5:42. So we've got no real hurry in getting to our Marshall point. And we'll go ahead and turn our radar altimeter on. Jet seems to be handling all right. If we do get an advisory about ice building up, I'll go ahead and throw those pitot warmers on. Previous missions in this campaign, I've had issues with ice building up in my intake inlets, and I'm unsure of how to de-ice those. So we'll see how it goes. Feel a little bit of turbulence there. That's all right. And bring up our EW page, turn on our countermeasures, and we'll go ahead and start readying our bombs. We're going to go CCIP, nose, and we'll keep it a quantity of 1 and a multiple of 1. We have 2 targets. Our primary target is an ammunition storage bunker near the port of Sukhumi. And we can take a look at our knee board, and we can see that this is it. So it's pretty recognizable. We got a port here, and then the ammunition bunker is right in that area. So it should be pretty recognizable from the air. If not, we'll figure it out. So there's our wingman. It's a pretty opportunity for a screenshot right there. Inlet ice, yep. So why don't we go ahead and turn our heat on, just to be safe. And since we are operating in such close proximity, we'll go ahead and arm up the jet. Make sure our countermeasures are ready to go. Definitely don't want to get caught with our pants down. And I'm sure, as you've noticed looking at my HUD here, our radar altimeter is not working because our radar is not turned on. We will remedy that just before we push.
All stations, this is Magic. Dragon, Dragon, Dragon.
So that's the push for our Harrier flights, as well as where'd my wingman go? It looks as if my wingman had a issue and jettisoned his weapons, so I guess he's going to have to turn around. There's our two other Hornet strikers out there. That's unfortunate, but we'll go ahead and push on alone. There'll be plenty of Allied aircraft in the area to give us cover. This was kind of a hasty deployment out here to Georgia, so spare jets are few and far between. And of course, as many of you know, our CF-18s are rather old and tend to break down.
Stations, Magic, Toyota, 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 Magic out.
Alright, time to push. Going alone without our wingmen. That's alright. We shall make it work. Starting to think maybe the fairing where the radar altimeter comes out of the nose of the aircraft could potentially be iced over because it is not working as advertised. That is for sure. Inlet ice again. I've never noticed those lights there before. It's very interesting. I always notice new things on the Caucasus map whenever I fly on it. So here's our two other F-18s. Got an SA-8, it looks like, near the target area. Jets armed up. Okay, Mark 84s are selected. Yep, our wingman is definitely headed home for some reason.
Colt 6, passing waypoint 4 at 2001. Magic Colt 5-1, request picture. Colt 5-1, Magic clean.
Alrighty, so far the Russians have not scrambled anyone. We'll see if the little ragtag of Kazian Air Force sends anyone up, or if we'll get Russian MiGs. Engines are looking okay, even though we do have some ice warnings every once in a while here. Got plenty of gas. No search radars around. Waypoint 5 is our primary target. We'll go ahead and take this off.
Colt 6, in from the east, engaging ship at ball 279, 445.
Colt 6-1 is a Harrier flight, I believe. I think they should be engaging with Mavericks. It looks like we had a SAM launch out there. Go ahead and turn labels on for you guys so you can get a better idea of what's going on out here. Tried to come out a little bit, trying to avoid that SA-8 as much as possible. You can see, I believe, 2 F-18s out there. Our French contingent's airborne. There's Sukhumi Airfield.
Colt 5-1, Magic pop-up group 21447 at 1000, flanking.
There's an SA-8.
Colt 5-1, Magic pop-up group 20346 at 1000, flanking.
Yeehaw.
Colt 5-1, Magic pop-up group 19445 at 500, flanking. Colt 5-1, Magic merged.
So I can see my primary target there. Kind of wrecked my bead on into the target here, but that's better than a OSA up my butt. Let's see if we can bend around here and re-attack the target. If we can't for any reason, we'll go ahead and go after the IL-76s on the ramp at Sukhumi. AI, so air intercept.
Colt 5-1, Colt 6, kill ship at bullseye 279.
So we can see the Harriers out there. You can see a MiG out there as well, so let's try and get rid of some bombs.
North, engaging ship at bull 279, 445.
Okay, I can see our primary target.
Engaging bandit at
Get some speed here.
445 at 2300.
Altitude.
Flanking.
2 bombs away.
Chevy 4, in from the southeast, engaging bandit at bull 273, 440. 4000, cold.
Looks like we hit the ammunition bunker.
Right, 1 o'clock.
And why don't we go ahead and drop on these aircraft.
5-1, Magic pop-up group 15546.
Looks like they're trying to take off. Not this time, guys.
5-1, Magic pop-up group
And we'll go after these.
14946 at 2500, cold.
Kind of messed up my approach there, too shallow.
Colt 5-1, Magic pop-up group 11247 at 2500, flanking. Chevy 4, engaging bandit at Wolf 201, 421 at 10,000.
Looks like we're doing really well in terms of gas. so we can definitely tangle with these MiGs.
Colt 5-1, Magic, pop-up group 13247 at 1,500, Colt. Spike, 1 o'clock.
Nope, keep buddy spiking, guys. Looks like I'm getting buddy spiked by a Mirage.
Spike, 1 o'clock.
Fox 1.
Chevy 4, engaging bandit.
Try and get below this guy so I can get a good track on him. Don't lose him in the water.
At 9,000. Bolt 183 for 18 at 17,000.
Come on. Come on. Oh boy, his wingman's scaring me a bit up there. Come on, missile. Let's go. Probably gonna run out of energy. Let's go ahead and fire our other one.
Chevy 4, splash bandit at Wolves 236 423 at 8,000.
Ooh, I thought I was gonna get a maneuver kill on him for a second there.
Colt 5-1, Magic, Bra 10843 at 13,000, Colt.
Oh, this guy's good.
Chevy 4,
Definitely close on him a bit.
engaging bandit at 19273
About to outrun my own missile.
Magic. Colt 5-1 is front page. Headlines RTV.
These front page headlines. Proceed direct 6 mile initial runway 08 and Kutaisi.
Fox 2. Oh, we'll call that a shared kill.
Fox 2.
Couple more out here.
Road 664. Magic.
7.
Chevy 9, engaging bandit at 228 for 19 at 11,000. Colt 5-1, Magic, Bra 03645 at 5,000.
Big 29 on my 6.
Chevy 9, in from the southeast, engaging bandit at
Whoa.
273 for 40.
Close in a bit.
Chevy 9, engaging bandit at bullseye
Fox 2.
239 for 24 at 8,000.
Thank God for flares.
Slash bandit at bull 240 for 24 at 8,000. Chevy 9.
Closed on me a lot faster than I thought he was going to.
For 25 at 8,000. Spike, 1 o'clock. Colt 5-1, Magic, pop-up group 302429 at 2,000 knots.
Probably time to go home.
Colt 6, engaging bandit at bull 227 417 at
He's gonna come after me. Looks like he just came out of Afterburner.
Bull, in from the southeast.
Oh, he's getting engaged by a Mirage.
Colt 6.
And he's gone.
Slash bandit at bull 220 417 at 10,000.
Got a MiG tracking me. Not worried about it.
Cross 1.
Chevy 9, in from the southeast. Engaging bandit at bullseye 273 for 40. Colt 5-1, Magic, pop-up group 310. Chevy 9, defending bandit at bullseye 262 for 30.
You can definitely tell there's a crosswind. My rudders back there are going nutty. Got my lights turned back on, now I'm coming back in. Autopilot, I don't know what's wrong with my autopilot. Go ahead and gain some altitude here so we can get into the pattern. Like a SAM site out there. Wow, I'm really good really glad that R60 didn't get me. That was close. I should not have let that guy sneak up on me so much. It closed a lot faster than I thought we would. I'm actually going to leave my HUD uncaged for this landing. My reasoning for that is because we have such a high crosswind across the runway, it might make it a bit easier to judge where I'm going to actually land on the runway and which way the wind is pushing me. The wind should be moving in a south to north type direction, but things could always change. I'm interested to see if we look into the mission logs or the debriefing screen. I forgot what it's actually called. If I can see what failure or what reason my wingman went home for. So that was really interesting. First time I played this mission through, that did not happen.
Chevy 9, defending bandit at bull 273 for 41. Magic, bra 306, 460 at 4,000, cold.
Flight 1 to direct the airfield, contact tower.
Colt 5-1, direct the field and switching tower. Good day.
Everything on our FCS looks good, even though we were getting cautions the entire time.
Bound for runway 08.
Colt 5-1, tower, runway 08, the wind is 085 at 8, altimeter 299 at 2, clear the right-hand brake, runway 08.
Colt 5-1.
So we'll go ahead and put a course line on our waypoint here of 08. Alright. There's our runway. Looks like we got a Harrier over the airfield. We'll have to make sure we watch out for that traffic. We're going to do a right-hand brake, but we're not going to do it as aggressively as we would do a carrier brake. because we're a Canadian pilot. We're not a carrier pilot. And because of this turbulence and high crosswind, we're going to give ourselves plenty of room. So we'll try and judge the crosswind here as we cross the runway. Whoa! Traffic. Looks like he's coming in for a landing. His gear is down.
Chevy 9, in from the southwest, engaging bandit at Bulls 2.
I think we came out of the target area a little faster than the game was anticipating, or the scripting for the mission. But that's alright, we'll just we'll take a little stroll around the airfield here and wait for him to land and get off the runway. That is no problem. So we'll come off to the right as directed.
3,500 cold.
Hold 5-1, check gear down, clear to land runway 08.
Hold 5-1, clear to land 08.
We are definitely not clear to land. And we got more Harrier traffic around. So that's Springfield flight, and this is a Harrier flight of Uzi. Oh, I think he was battle damaged. I think that's why he chose to land early. It's no problem. Looks to me like he is off the runway. Maybe having a hard time. So we'll come around again, we'll actually go for a full stop.
Magic pop-up group 298-480 at 2000 flanking. Chevy 9, in from the west, engaging bandit at bullseye 273 440.
Got more Hornet traffic out here. So we'll try and get a full stop in nice and quick. So a bit of a more aggressive landing than I was hoping for, but it works.
Chevy 9, defending bandit at bullseye 273 440.
Hopefully that Harrier makes it onto the ground. A little bit of a rough landing. Put our speed brake out. Harrier's still hovering.
Hold 5-1, exit left and contact ground.
Hold 5-1.
Pull in our speed brake. Yeah, something a little screwy happened, I think, with the mission scripting, or some aircraft got damaged.
Chevy 9, defending Sam at bullseye 281, 440.
And I've got AI landing in back of me. Hopefully he doesn't run into me.
Ground, Colt 5-1, taxi to park.
Colt 5-1, taxi into parking. Welcome back.
Colt 5-1.
So that was a fun mission. The first time I played through it, there was not all that craziness in terms of the landing pattern there. It was actually a quite easy approach and landing with no issue except for the crosswind. So I would say in this fly through, the most harrowing part was probably the landing. There's a link down below to download the campaign. I would highly recommend it. All the missions are a lot of fun. And hope everyone enjoys it, and thanks again SEDLO for creating it, and fly safe everyone. Have a good day.